Paimon's exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known. Did we make it in time? Is the
What are you doing?
Huh? Hold on! It's the Adepti! What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for...
Oh, Paimon gets it. So, just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy...
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient... Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any...
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago. So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepta...
We've already discussed this together, and our...
What? Wait, all of you were supposed to be the Guardians of Lilith! Can't you think...
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the... For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet,
I suppose this is one So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. We haven't a moment to spare. Yep.
manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work!
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you are made of then. What strength remains within you, one wishes to witness.
Nice and spicy!
No slacking off! You can't run! Well, this should be fun. My duty! You can't run! Well... Keep back! Looks like I went too far. I miscalculated.
That is Osial's divine power. I am. Be careful not to get hit.
Let the show begin!
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How dare you? Smash and I's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Race you! giant cars! Whoa! It's about a big shockwave! This granny's really strong!
Time for takeoff.
Oh, protect us! Go, Rubber, go!
Here we go.
Boba, get them!
This isn't good.
With the blood of the Cheerians, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganya's like in a fight!
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast!
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Let your heart fight
Let's move.
Time for takeoff. Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak. In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
back into it. Little light in my work.
Mitsuri's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace!
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Jangan dimain nak, Mama. Jangan pakai tangan. Nih, Baba suapkan oh. Tumpah tu tumpah. Baba suapkan ya. Pakai tangan kanan.
Baba. Awas.
Mamam lah. Jangan dimain.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster. The effects of the sigil of permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the overlord of the vortex can
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to...
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to...
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of it. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued... It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a business. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such...
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some... Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here. 3,700 years. According to our records, even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead,
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see...
Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a...
This morning, Rex Lapis...
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his... But I dared not speak.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Al?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of as Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outland.
All right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces, although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise...
Huh? Why does everyone look so down?
Weren't you frightened, dear?
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there, and those powerful... When danger is near, everyone always Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able...
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You see, this is what Liyue, the country of contracts, is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer, although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts...
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place.
Your line of inquiry is askew.
Seems like the Adepti have had a chance.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Deep... One fears that by the time one finally grasps... Fair enough.
Since we Adepti have consensus, but how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply...
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that...
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti... Oh, right! It's the child wanted to unleash the god, so he could lure Rex Lapis, but we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex. Oh, and speaking of that... Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less right of party? That we're organizing?
Ngapa pakai tangan?
No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him
Awas
at
ya.
Wangshem Funeral Parlor.
Pakai sendok. Jangan pakai tangan. Ibu kan mau makan. Gak usah pakai tangan. Ya.
Is there anything I can do for you?
We've come to see Zhongli.
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment.
Doesn't the Northland Bank? Last time we saw Zhong... Do you think he doesn't know? We had better go and...
Mamam, dah, kotor. Dah, cuci tangan sama ibu. Dah, cuci tangan.
You call this cooperation between harbingers?
Dah, sana.
Cooperation
Ibu,
involves communication, you know.
Ya.
Oh, it seems that...
Bilang ibu. Cuci
It's
tangan.
Zhongli and Child. And... You're also one...
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the city of... Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather...
No, don't let her get to you. You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements. And our last battle, so it might be best to keep things peaceful.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit...
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would...
What in the world are you
The contract is fulfilled.
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of No, wait! That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you and...
Gathering all the forces that have been bubbling behind me.
Wait, what?
Main di sana, main di sana.
Okay, Papa.
Perhaps it's best that I explain.
Awas.
As you know, I've dwelt even bolder until one day I stood more. But as I began to was Liyue, so I feigned my own death. Indeed I was. That's right.
So you mean...
Of course. And it would have, just as a child quickly matured.
I was pleasantly surprised with the Adepti deserve, and hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo Archon to fulfill our contract. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen, I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti. To come, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue as divine protectors. On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse?
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this. Wreaking havoc, and if you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a Hey, haven't you learned the Liyue saying, don't always call it as you see it?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always...
Realistically...
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, my agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the last of my contracts as the G. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsar, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Setelah strawberry.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have...
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the...
Say, do you think the person...
Now that you mention it, that's very... I mean, it all fits together. Still, what's...
Ah, forget it. Guess...
Well, since we're going through... So Rex Lapis is really... Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a... There's only one real... Fatui? Shh. Look.
Hear ye all! Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too, gods and adept rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex, having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Chising's announcement said. So that something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for... Could the Chising already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? Did Zhongli tell them in secret after... Exactly, right? Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returned.
3,700 years of...
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed the long, unending... Now that we have awoken from our dream, will you stand with us as we re-establish our contract?
So concludes the words of her Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is.
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young.
The Liyue Chising always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes... Name your price.
Whoa!
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
And to think I'd put my best perfume on before coming here, thinking you'd like. But it seems as if those perfumes really... Well, that's fine. Suffer no rivals.
If you were roping...
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this! Everyone in Liyue is caught up, and here you are looking all...
Why would I not feel more at ease? Right. If the two of you can spare the time.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout.
You're right. I do like the Mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But when I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand...
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the butt since you weren't used to not being...
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. The Archon Morax could never experience life. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No.
Paimon thinks that...
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation... Yes. The Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people...
Paimon thinks we...
That is the case. And since Raiden is...
That said, though people have... Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know...
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control. But if a person shows true strength, this is what visions are. But starting from last year...
Vision hunt?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within...
They want to seize visions? But why?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes...
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animal Archon is the god of freedom. And the the fact that even I, knowing her, she must have 7 ideals for 7... All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? The time of the adept coaching is absolutely now. Though, with the original... All right then. Was there...
Yeah, about that...
These are indeed false accusations. I've heard that Ningguang is busy... Ha. Those poor... All right then. Was... Well then.